Hi, welcome to Coffee Talk. My name is Nina Means, Director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator. We are so excited to kind of get the week started about all the things that are happening in fashion technology, sustainability, emerging brands. This is really your go-to spot for all things fashion tech, sustainable, and emergent designers. We're really excited about some new things that are coming on line here as we go into the fall. Right now, we're in the selection process for cohort 2 of our Designer in Residence program, and I cannot wait for you to see them. It's pretty much like a casting of new talent here in Austin, and really kind of cultivating our emerging designers, and really teaching them how to integrate fashion technology and sustainable practices as they create their brands. Whenever we all talked together last week, we spoke about sustainability and the way the world is changing all around us. You're seeing extreme weather, a lot of changes to our ecosystem, things that are affecting our diets. I mean, there's so much that's happening around us, not to mention the global pandemic. And so, in terms of our role, what we have, fashion really does have to do something. Following up on our conversation, we wanted to spend some time talking about how we're helping brands at the Fashion Incubator to build brands that are promoting genuine sustainability, brands that are really powered by technology in order to bring their products to market. And so what does that actually mean? What do I mean by that? Well, at the Fashion Incubator, we work with Gerber Technology. We have millions of dollars worth of hardware and software that helps our brands go to market in a more sustainable way. Just recently, and I believe, this is really kind of speaking to the way that Gerber has evolved to meet our needs during these crazy times. We've been able to come into remote access for a lot of these platforms that were kind of available within our space. Now with these remote access points, we're able to reach more people, train more designers, reach more small businesses with really critical fashion technology support, innovation, information, training, to be able to really drive this new focus, really on sustainability in fashion. We know that brands have been curious about it. They want to do it. They've been finding ways to integrate things like eco fibers and dead stock and other materials to be able to help, promote kind of a recycled or reused experience when working with our clothes, but we're also having to make clothes that people want to wear. And so, a lot of times people will say, yes, I want sustainable, but they don't want to pay for it. Or they want to say, yes, I want sustainable, but, I like these kinds of colors that are really only attainable if I used dyes that are really bad for the environment or use a lot of water. And so as we're all kind of learning what it takes for brands to be sustainable, customers are getting educated as well. And so, whenever we start talking about how we're bringing these brands into this new era, it's really on all of us to make these decisions together. I think a lot of people are, kind of saying, not it, in terms of whose responsibility is it for fashion to get cleaner? Whose responsibility is it for brands to produce more sustainably or for customers to buy more sustainably? And the truth is, it's on all of us. It's on all of us to become more sustainable. And so as we're working with brands to do their part, we're going to encourage you to do your part as a consumer, as an educated consumer. So what we're doing is, kind of talking a little bit more about the fashion technology today, and how all of these various tech, software help to really make brands more sustainable. What do they do actually? And so I want to take a quick step back because sometimes people would say, well, Gerber technology has been around for like over 50 years. So is this like really innovation? Is this really new? And I would like to say, yes, absolutely. It is 100% new. And I'll tell you why. It's because typically, if you are going to have Gerber technology in your company or using it to create product, you are typically a very large multi-million-dollar company. You make thousands of, you make, hundreds of thousands of units. You're doing a large volume of product. And so, it's typically reserved for very, high-powered businesses. So where the innovation comes in is kind of starting to integrate that fashion technology earlier in the process. So imagine an emerging brand getting a chance to employ this fashion technology at the beginning. How much more efficient they will become, how much more precise they would be with the product that they're creating. So this is really where we're kind of looking at, sometimes it's applying a known solution into a new space, is really where we're seeing change, and really access. One of the things that I particularly love about working at ACC is that it really is for everyone. We really are about, providing access to people who typically wouldn't get access to some of these really incredible resources, but now we can bring something like Gerber technology to the masses. And so this is exciting for us to be able to train and to instruct, to teach on these technologies, but also to see small businesses grow and thrive. This is really what we get excited about. What happens when brands use tech early on is basically they're able to use something called, I'll tell you a little bit about the software packages we have. AccuMark 2D, which is a two-dimensional pattern design software. We have AccuMark 3D, which is a three-dimensional software. And what this allows you to do is to be able to imagine, not even just imagine, create production-ready garments digitally. Production-ready garments digitally. This is really exciting for us because what happens is you can work on a digital pattern and you can build the entire base of your collection completely into the computer. Then before first of all, let's just talk about all the paper that you typically waste. If you are a pattern maker, you know how much paper it takes for you to get all of your blocks, all of your patterns into your system, and imagine that all of those live digitally and they're ready to be used immediately. Quick updates, quick adjustments, sizing, all of those things can be done really in just a couple of clicks in AccuMark 2D. So this is a really exciting resource to think about how much faster you can move, how much more precisely you can move. Whenever someone says, hey, but do you make it in my size? Yes, made to measure supports that. We can adjust our, sizing requirements to be able to do that all digitally without making a huge mess of bringing in a lot of extra paper, a lot of extra resources, a lot of extra time, which is actually adds up to a lot of extra money. So this is an opportunity for us to be able to work really precisely in the 2D pattern design software. But it doesn't stop there. Guys, you get a chance to take that 2D pattern design and take it into 3D, which means that you get a chance to sew your garment in the computer. So you will see the full style. Like you can turn it around, you can look inside, you can make the entire garment in the computer. You get to put it on an avatar. You can design and redesign that avatar so that it meets your customer's requirements, whether you're making something for yourself or you're making something for your ideal customer or a custom customer. You can use this 3D pattern design software to pinpoint exactly what your customer, your client needs. So imagine being able to do all of those preliminary fittings without having to actually pull out sample yardage or cut your material that is so expensive, or to have to schedule a fit model early in the process. You may still have to do the fit model later because that's just good business practice. However, you get a chance to do a lot of those preliminary fittings early on so that you know that what you've designed works in the real environment. They're production friendly, they're production ready. So what you see is what you get. Which is categorically different than any other three-dimensional pattern design software out there. So we're really proud that we're working with Gerber specifically because they're focused on actual product that can be made from their digital software. So imagine, you can see something on the computer and you're like, hey, that looks beautiful. And then you send it to cut and, the seamstress or you stitch it up and it doesn't look anything like what you designed. That's not happening here. What you see is what you get. And that is the most rewarding thing, to be able to go from 2D pattern design software to 3D pattern design software, and then to come to a final product. That's what our designers are getting a chance to do. That's what our local industry gets to do, working with ACC Fashion Incubator. Amazing, right? So think about this. So they learn 2D, 3D pattern design software. They're learning product lifecycle management, how to basically manage your supply chain digitally, all the components it takes to make a successful, not just a successful collection, sorry, successful sample, but a successful collection. And so whenever we think about, what our designer in residence are getting a chance to do, our first cohort started in the middle of COVID. We're still in the middle of COVID, unfortunately. But, we've learned a lot. And so we're able to bring a lot more to the table in terms of, the remote access points, kind of understanding a bit more about how to keep everyone safe when interacting in the studios and the design lab. And then, being able to help them to work more efficiently and precisely utilizing the technology. So all of them got a fast start, here's how the platform works, here's how, these things operate. But what they're going to get a chance to do in the fall, starting in October, this is something I want to make sure that you guys know and can see. This workforce education series for AccuMark 2D is open to the public. Yes, in fact, the AccuMark 2D course I was just telling you all about is open to the public. So you'll get a chance to learn how to use this AccuMark 2D in a deep dive. You'll get a 10-week lesson with someone who has worked in this software for over 15 years. She knows it like the back of her hand. You are going to learn so much. And by the end of that 10 weeks, we really believe that you're going to be proficient enough to be using that in your regular workflow. It's also about building the proficiency to be able to use that for, employment. A lot of places are looking for people who can use these digital platforms and to be able to work efficiently for pattern updates. We'll be launching the 3D course in the spring. So in January, you'll be able to take 3D. So you'll need the 2D course to make sure that you can understand how to use the 3D, but you'll get a chance to take them in order. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check this out, please, please, please check out the link. I'll be sharing the Workforce Education Series link on my LinkedIn, but you'll also get a chance to check it out on our website at at austincc.edu/fashion incubator. If you go to events and classes, you'll see the entire workforce education series there. So guys, I could go on and on and on about this. I won't today. However, this is something that is really transforming the way that our brands are able to go to market and how we're able to support them to grow sustainably. We're helping them to grow with more technology, being more efficient, being much more effective, and meeting the true needs of the customer when it's needed. So this is really exciting for us, but we're also hoping it's exciting, for those of us who genuinely care about the environment and genuinely care about how fashion is transforming the way that we go to business. So guys, thank you so much for your time today. We'll talk about transferability of these skills in a future talk. We're talking all about fashion now, but when you learn how to use this kind of platform, you really can use it in a variety of industries. And so I'll talk a little bit about that the next time we get together. But this workforce education series is huge. So if you want to learn how to use AccuMark 2D pattern design software, it starts in October. So go ahead and register now. You will not be disappointed. You will learn so much. It is being offered as a hybrid. So there are online spaces as well as in-person spaces. So if you want to come into the on campus at Highland campus, you're able to take those classes there in our lab. So you'll get a chance to see all the equipment, all of the the cool cutting equipment and all the industrial machines and all of that. Or if you're like, hey, you know what, in person just is not for me right now, we do have remote access. And so let us know when you register, and we'll make sure to make those accommodations for you. Again, guys, thanks so much for your time today. Fashion tech really is making it possible for emerging brands to grow sustainable fashion. And ACC Fashion Incubator is definitely here for it. So thanks so much for joining us today. And again, my name is Nina Means, Director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and you've been watching Coffee Talk. Have a great week, guys.